Welcome to Modern Hackers. Please subscribe and do not forget to like the video if you have enjoyed. Hi everybody, this is episode 2 of Camblock's Ford Mustang Hoonicorn build. During the previous episode I got so many comments under the video, so today I will introduce you the painting, the decals and also the clear coat varnish process, how I made it. We will go through all details. In just 5 days 3000 people just picked up and watched this video, so this gives motivation me. Focus on this episode too, you get as many contacts as you could get. Please follow me watching this. Let's see, so I used black paint. This is a special black paint from Mr. Color, Mr. Hobby. It's a little bit lighter black, guano black. Remotely you don't see this, it's a guano black. It's a just a tone darker than the classic gloss blacks. This is a gloss black paint, and I tint this with Mr. Hobby leveling thinner, so that's the best thinner for Mr. Color paints. It's just flattening out the surface as you wish. I will put to the video description the Mr. Color part number. I used special airbrush, also this is in the video description, with this cap holder on the top. This airbrush is similar like the car airbrush paint, but it's just going with standard PSI ranges, so you can go with 20 PSI. And that's the air tank compressor for the airbrush. Hobby airbrush compressor is making is good enough for it. This is really making the good paint, and really in a surface of a kind of moon surface is pushing the paint to the shell. The first coat won't cover 100%, so you need to make sure at least you give a 60% coverage everywhere you can. It shouldn't be so thick, otherwise it's just getting the dust on it. This Ford Mustang body has several areas where you won't fit with this kind of big spraying airbrush, so you should expect some rework after. Especially the bonnet and the trunk connectors not picking up the paint for the first round. That you need to adjust with a smaller airbrush. Also the door panel lines the same. At least give a generic coverage. Outside, wheel curves, top. Also, this is a 3D printed model, just remind everybody. So you might see some imperfections because the primer did not show up even when you used grey primer, but this black paint giving visibility for these imperfections again. So you might need to sand again a bit the imperfections. Some dust on it, but the paint is almost flat. We just water slide and watered sandpaper. I just used 3000 grit sandpaper, just flatten out the surface if there was any imperfection. So this is a lacquer paint that you can see. Lacquer paint on the top of Mr. Hood, Mr. Color primer, pretty much fitting into the body, and you can freely sand it. So it's so good when you sand it, easy to work with. In the bonnet I did see more imperfections, still after the 3D printing and priming. I fixed it now. And the first coat of black rather became an additional primer. The spoilers, I used initial paints on it with the smaller airbrush. The smaller airbrush is just 0.2 nozzle and needle, while the previous one that you see, this spray gun, was 0.5 nozzle and needle one. And now I'm removing the remaining imperfections, also in the trunk. You don't need to make a glossy finish this stage, just to be clear. Just add the necessary paint to the surface, get remove all imperfections. These will be base surfaces of the paint. After again a bit sanding, now the shape, the lines getting as I want, getting to that stage. So interesting that you see this with the 3D printed model, not like a manufacturing plastic kit. But the workflow is very similar. I use this process of painting, sanding, painting, sanding until I'm happy with the result so far, till I don't see any major issues with the surface. Usually 2-3 coats are enough and satisfying, because if you don't do it after clear coating, you won't have too much chance. Usually this stage, you see how it will look after the clear coat. Between print stages, I'm recommending to mix the paint with these auto mixers to get better results. You don't have dust in it, paint dust, particles. You should always clean the body before painting with compressed air. I usually also, for the first paint, between the primer and between the paint, I'm washing the body with water, get rid of everything. In between the stages, I usually removing with compressed air and some special material clothes, just not putting dust on it. Should not overpaint, that's important. If you overpaint, then you also need to remove the unnecessary paint. So now at this stage, also the lines filled up with paint, because between the two big paint jobs, so this is now the second big paint job, and in between we had a small paint job just for the lines and the fixtures. The shape getting filled by proper paint. So technically this is the third layer of paint. And this is start getting small dust on it, that's normal. Even it's shiny look, small dust in it. And the big question was from you folks that how I do the decals. So I went to photo editor software and I made my decals on own, because these not exist over the internet. You can do it your own. I used Photoshop software. I made layers and I made some graphics in it. I made my own. for printing, and I printed it for water slide decal paper. There are two types of water slide decal papers, transparent and white. This is the white one, and this glossy one, so you need to select the glossy print finish on that. And after printing and curing, I added varnish, clear coat on the top of the water slide decal, because this layer requires that when you cut out and put water in it, it keeps the paint on it. I use just a simple DeskJet printer to print out, so you don't need to worry on that. You can also print out with DeskJet printer or laser printer, and if you use white-based water slide paper, you can see also you can have white colors, but not printed, just the paper is white, and you make a black corner, and you can cut out. So I selected this way, and the DeskJet printer has a color code, and the guano black is close to it. If the guano black will get a color, will get a transparent varnish, clear coat varnish, then might be getting to similar level and shine. So this is the trick how you can print white. Just put colored background, and you can have the white on the paper. After the decals, you should apply also decal softener to get to the surface properly the decal. This custom decal business is a special thing, because when you make the decal, print it, and if you put not enough varnish on the top of the decal, then you won't be able to attach it, because during this applying process, after the water is just get out of control and the paints got off from the decal. So you need to at least apply 2-3 coats of varnish when you make the decal to be ready for water slide decaling, and that gives some weight on it and some thickness on it. So don't be surprised if it is not thin decal, it's a thick decal, but at least it's able to handle the situation, handle the touch, handle the adjustments, and also handle the decal softener. So you can apply the same decal softener materials like used for any box decals. It's doing the same purpose, but you should not over stress this. So if you apply at least 2 strong coats of varnish, clear coat, it's working like a real decal. If you not fit after and not touching after, it can have some bubbles underneath, which later on not nice, so you should remove all bubbles. After water sliding between decal softener, after decal softener, you should adjust this. You need to check also the dimensions to be centered the decals. Later difficult to move, you need to reapply if you miss this. I selected from Cam blocks multiple designs, had multiple designs by the generation of this Hoonicorn Mustang, like the first, second generations from the photos, where the car body is black and gloss black finish will have, and have first and second generation of decals that you will see during the video applying this, and this is my design. You can make your own decals, or you can find some decals from RC business. It's your turn, your choice. almost each element had a decal, minimum one or multiple. You need to make sure the decals fitting to the body, otherwise the varnish and the clear coat won't sit properly on that. Also the spoiler has two decals on it, these small ones. You need to make sure this is still visible after applying, and adjust if need to be. Most of the questions in the comments came about the decals, so I put big focus, show you how I made the decals, how I apply the decals, what will happen after decaling, how the clear coat will go on. Everybody raising this offline also, these questions. You can do with this DeskJet printer also, or you can go with the custom decal manufacturing if you want. There are multiple ways, multiple options. It is your personal choice which direction you go. I like those ones that I can create, I can customize, I can reprint if need to be. This gives some confidentiality, but you can make it with decal printer companies as well if you want. With professional decal transfer. What you see is the DeskJet level. Either HP or either Epson can print this level, or you can go with the laser printers. These 3-color printers are, or you can go with a different color tone printers where also the white is an individual color. It depends on the level where you want to go. I give a generic guide where any of you can make it on your own. It's not difficult. You can find these water slide decals in your country with any shops or any gift shops, maker shops, or you can get it over the internet. Maybe I will also put some to the description where you can get water slide decals, transfer papers, where you can order globally. The result is satisfying. Went to the places where I wanted. And after decaling, the clear coat is the interesting section. So for this model I used the 2K clear coat, and 2K is a special paint, not just the varnish. It's the one that you need to apply, also hardener you need to add. So you need to mix with 2 pieces of varnish and 1 piece of hardener. It needs to mix together, validating the quality. Thinning ratio, have to thin with its own thinner. It's a kind of acrylic thinner which needs to be used. You can buy any type of car 2K varnish, clear coat, no any specifics for the brand, and behaving similarly. The first coat needs to be kind of thin coat. Do not overspray, just apply a thin coat, make a base thin layer. You don't need to you don't need to level up the first coat. It won't be shiny, it will be matte. That's the expected for the first layer. Don't overspray, put just a thin. It's setting up the surface for this kind of paint type. Should use proper respirators. I'm using 3M respirator. It's a full mask respirator, but you can use half masks with eye glasses as well. And you should use A2 or A1 filter, and also with particular filter. attachment minimum P1, P2, but I'm recommending A2 and P3 particular filter for this kind of material. But you should get your advice from your local paint shop. Don't risk, so get consultation very needed. And also the air needs to be collected, so there is a airflow. If you see behind, if you work with these paints, you need the proper airflow. The fumes have to be get out where you are. The second paint will be sprayed more, and there should be at least 10 minutes between the first coat and the second coat, and you should keep the temperature minimum 20 or 30 degrees in the room. After you can apply the second coat. Do not touch after the second coat because it won't be cured. Behind the paint you can see this paper towel. It is filled with water, so the paper towel is collecting the dust. The dust is against our paint job. You go with the third layer, you can spray more, and you need to also validate the thinning ratio. If it's not flattening out properly, then you can increase the thinning ratio and add more thinner into it. I added more, and then giving back more and more satisfying results. 4 and 4th coat, and get to the 5th coat. Don't overspray. Instead of apply more coats in it, and if you get some dust into it, after you will remove with some polishing. After practicing on the small parts, you have to practice also how this 2K clear coat get to reaction with the decals. That is why I just applied to the small pieces. Now I did see it worked pretty well, so I went for the whole body. With the same technique, so I just give for the first round the base coat, matte base coat. Every area should be covered equally. Only in the first or second coat, if you hit some dust on it, you can remove still with some very soft sponge. But then after the second, third, 5th coat, the area will be sensitive until it's not cured. If you have not experience with these 2K clear coats, you can go with the standard base clear coats, the 1K ones. Mr. Hobby, Mr. Color have wonderful clear coats I used in other videos. You can see how am I applying, how am I sanding, polishing those ones. That's also good. I'm recommending those ones. Not have any negative onto it. This is now a 2K clear coat. It's more advanced and you need to be more careful because it's hurting your skin, it's hurting the materials around it, so you need to be more careful and attention. But it has more shiny finish, more glossy finish than the regular 1K clear coats. You need to decide which direction you want to go. This 2K varnish with a proper thinning ratio is really flattening out on the surface without any issues. You need to make sure your compressor is working well. You have the right air pressure, not air overspray. or under the air pressure. I apply the same layers, so totally I'm applying 5 layers. This will be the 4th one. Each sections of the body I applying one layer each round, and there is 10 minutes between the layers minimum cure time, and between the 10 minutes I'm keeping in 20-30 degrees of temperature. And this is the last layer, the 5th layer. This is the thinnest layer, softening out the surface and thinning out properly, so I thin this the most. Became every side flat. Might some remaining some small dust in it that we will polishing later in upcoming video. And here is the satisfying result. Thank you for part 2. Thank you for watching Modern Hackers. Please do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed.